Hey, good morning, guys. I was going to make a video for you guys real quick this morning. It's kind of a weird lesson to do all together, so I thought this might go a little bit better. So, yesterday we talked about a simple random sample. We did a Super Bowl party. We saw three different ways we could do a simple random sample. And I really like the calculator way that we did it, so make sure you're focusing on that. Here's a list of other lesser known sampling methods, but sampling methods that we're going to need to know for this first unit going forward. So if you would, just go ahead and pause the video and you can get all these written down in your notes as far as what each different type of sampling method is. All right, good. Hope you got that. So I'm going to jump around in my notes a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and talk about each one of those right here in example 5, and then I'll let you go through and work some. And so this says that a study is done to determine the average tuition that San Jose State undergraduate students pay per semester. So each student in the following samples is asked how much tuition he or she has paid for the fall semester. What I want to do is I want to be able to identify what type of sampling method is used in each case. So, all right, here at A, it says a sample of 100 undergraduate San Jose students is taken by organizing the students' names by classification and then selecting 25 students from each. This is a great example of a stratified sampling, and just because I have broken apart my population into freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors. So I've broken them up into a different stratum, if you would, and then I've taken a simple random sample within each stratum. Okay. Part B, a random number generator is used to select a student from the alphabetical listing of all undergraduate students in the fall semester. Starting with that student, every 50th student is chosen until 75 students are included in the, that's cut off on my part, in the sample. There we go. All right, well, got a list of students and we're choosing every 50th student. This part right here where it says every 50th student is what really tells me what's going on. When it says it's choosing every 50th student, I know that I'm going to have a systematic sample. I think of it as I'm systematically choosing every 50th student to be in the survey. It goes by a system as far as who gets chosen for the sample and who doesn't. All right, let's look at C. A completely random method is used to select 75 students. Each undergraduate student in the fall semester has the same probability of being chosen at any stage of the sampling process. Well, that's exactly what we did yesterday with the Super Bowl problem. So on this one, we would just write a simple random sample. This is as simple as random sampling gets right here. There's no system to it. It's not systematic. We're not breaking up into stratums or clusters or anything. So that's just my simple random sample right there on C. Okay, we are at D. It says the freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior number years are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, respectively. A random number generator is used to pick 2 of those years. All students in those 2 years are in the sample. This would be an example of a cluster. Okay. If I'm surveying, I've got them broke apart into stratum, so I can see we're stratified, where you might think it'd be a stratified sample. But since I'm surveying everybody in that cluster, then that's going to be, or in that stratum, it's going to be a cluster sample. And finally, we have an administrative assistant is asked to stand in front of the library one Wednesday and to ask the first 100 undergraduate students he encounters what they paid for tuition the fall semester. Those 100 students are in the sample. That's a pretty convenient sample. We don't really like that sample. It's not going to be a good representative of what everybody is paying. Just anytime I'm using convenience to find a sample, I want to avoid that. So that would be an example of a convenience sample. Okay. All right. Well, there's some others. Since we're talking about convenient samples, there's some others I want to talk about that some ways that I guess that the sample is not representative of the population. So, for example, in part A right here, it says to find the average GPA of all students in university. I'm going to use just all the honor students at the university as the sample. That's not a very good idea of what it's going to give me for the average GPA of every student. If I do just the honor students, it's going to be really inflated. So I want to make sure this isn't representative because I'm using just the honor students. So part of your homework tonight is going to want you to talk about, if I'm doing a convenient sample, or maybe even I'm not doing a convenient sample, but it's still not representative of the whole population. I want you to talk about what is wrong with the sample being used. All right. Part B looked good there. Oop, jumping around too much. Let's go to this one. All right. Let's go to D. Okay, it says determine the proportion of people taking public transportation to work. I'm going to survey 20 people in New York City. And I'm going to conduct a survey by sitting in Central Park on a bench and interviewing each person who sits next to me. Over Christmas break, I've watched a lot of Impractical Jokers, and it sounds just like one of the scenes that they have where people come and sit next to them and they have to do something crazy. So that's the first thing I think of whenever I look at this example D right here. But this isn't going to be good either. This is still a convenient sample, and it's not going to be good because it's not going to represent the population. Because I'm wondering about public transportation, but I'm pretty sure that people that are coming through Central Park are more than likely walking. And so I'm going to get a bunch of walkers, I think, whenever I'm sitting in New York City in Central Park and interviewing people that sit next to me. If I was maybe down in the subway or at a bus stop, I would get more information I think I would need about the public transportation system. All right. Well, I'm going to turn you guys loose and let you guys do the rest of these. I didn't think this would be a very long video. It would have been a very short meet today. So why don't you guys go ahead and work these three. Hit pause on the video. You and your table buddy can work this and see if you get the same thing I do. All right, this is what I got on the first three. See if you match those. I got cluster on that second one. The key word there is going to be all right there. So anytime I see that all, I'm going straight to cluster. Let's try these three and then we'll call it a day. Okay, and here's what I got for the last three. So every third cancer patient told me it was going to be systematic. It's just a basic, simple, random sample like we did yesterday on the second one. And on this last one, it's kind of convenient. This student just used his algebra class to figure out the amount of jeans someone owns. So I think we needed to branch out a little bit there. Maybe algebra students don't like to wear jeans that much. They wear sweatpants. I don't know. So here's the assignment. Practice these this weekend. We need to get good at these before Monday. Okay, so Monday we'll be working on these some more, but we'll be doing a project with it. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and please let me know if you have any questions at all.